killer whales. Today we're going to be meeting Ulysses, Orchid, Pete, and Shuka. Now, here at SeaWorld San Diego, we have 8 killer whales ranging in age from 58 years old all the way to 9 years old. So we have a wide age range. We have 4 females and 4 males. Now, they also range in size. Our largest killer whale is about 10,100 pounds, and our smallest killer whale is about 5,000 pounds. Are you guys ready to meet them? Yeah, I think we do better than that. Let's get warmed up. Let's get ready to meet some whales. Now, first we have Pete. Pete is 29 years young. He's about to turn 30 years old next month. Here he comes, right here. Get your cameras ready in 3, 2, and 1. He is the first whale I ever started working with here at Orca Encounter. He truly holds a special place in my heart. He is one of the sweetest whales that we have. He's not the most athletic, but he would much rather just take a nap or do something really intellectual. Now, not to be outdone, he's joined by 29-year-old Shuka, who's also turning 30 years old next month. Now, Shuka was originally born in France. Now, she came to us from Vallejo, California, to live with other killer whales of her own kind. Now, coming up, we have Orchid. Orchid is 34 years old, and she was the first killer whale ever born right here at SeaWorld San Diego. She's giving you guys a big wave. You guys go ahead and wave back. She can see you. Now, last but not least, we have Ulysses, who just turned 45 years old on January 1st. Now, he is a very impressive male, and he weighs about 10,000 pounds. So over our presentation, you guys are going to get to see all 4 of our whales. Now, as you guys can see, some of the whales are coming and going to different pools. So here at Orca Encounter, our facility is about 6 million gallons of water, and it's 5 interconnected pools. So if you guys saw the whales down at underwater viewing underwater, that pool is also connected to our main pool right here. So we open and close these different underwater doors to allow the whales to move. So it's kind of like high school. You start off in a class, you have one specific teacher, you're learning one specific subject in one classroom. On the hour, you move classrooms, you move teachers, and you move what you're doing. So same thing with the whales. So right now we've asked the 4 whales to go into the back. And we're going to bring out another group. So just on the hour, we're moving the whales around. We're keeping it variable for them every single day. So variety is the spice of life for these guys. It keeps their day interesting. It keeps my job interesting. We're always doing something different and making it very unpredictable so that they never get bored. Now you guys are going to have an extra special treat of meeting 2 additional whales. We have Kalia and Makani. This is a brother-sister duo. So get your cameras ready right here. They are some of our smallest whales, so they are some of the most high-flying right here in 3, 2, and 1. Now we talked about earlier, Makani is our 9-year-old. He's about to turn 10 years old on Valentine's Day. So he was born right here almost 10 years ago. And his sister Kalia over here just turned 18 years old. So they are a very tight-knit duo. Makani is about 5,000 pounds, but male killer whales can grow up to be about 10 to 12,000 pounds. So still has a lot of growing to do. But right now, you guys can see they're very similar in size. So Kalia's pretty much full grown. Kalia's over here on the left. Now, how do we tell the whales apart? They have very different characteristics once you get to know them. So you can tell them apart by that dorsal fin on their back, by their different eye patches. Kalia has a very distinct eye patch, so let me know if you guys can spot it. She has 3 black freckles in that eye patch in the shape of a heart. So that's how we can tell that it's Kalia. But over time, we spend so much time with these guys that we really get to know them. Now, I want to take a second to talk about how awesome killer whales are. And what I mean by that is you guys are super up close, so I want to talk a little bit about their adaptations and characteristics. So Makani right here is showing off a really cool behavior. So it makes a really cool photo opportunity for you guys, but it's also how we weigh our whales. So we have a whale size scale in one of our back pools that we ask them to slide up on so we can get a weight every single week to make sure our young ones like Makani are growing up properly and our older ones like Corky are maintaining a healthy weight. Now, while you guys are up close with our whales, I want you guys to really notice some of the cool adaptations that they have. So a lot of people think that their eye is in that white patch. That is a common misconception. Their eye is actually in the black area just in front. Camouflage because when they catch prey and the prey is thrashing around, the prey is going to try to get their eye, but their eye is actually camouflaged in that black area, so it throws off their prey. Now, killer whales are apex predators, which means nothing eats a killer whale, but killer whales will eat everything. That's how they get their nickname, killer whale, because they can prey on and eat other whales. Now, Makani is showing off his teeth and his tongue. They have 40 to 60 ice cream cone-shaped teeth, but they are not using any of those teeth for chewing. They actually just use it to grab and rip larger prey, like those whales that they are able to eat, and they'll just swallow their prey whole since they do not have a gag reflex and they also do not have any taste buds. We have Kalia showing off her teeth. Now, other common question that we get asked is, what about that dorsal fin? So fins and flippers, big fact of today, they're two different things. So fins and flippers are usually used interchangeably, but they're actually two anatomically different things. So flippers do have bones and muscles inside of them. So flipper, she is waving her flipper. The flippers have bones just like our hand on the inside. So basically it looks like the same bone structure as our hand. She just has flippers around it. Now the fin on top of their back does not have any bone or muscle inside of it. It's just cartilaginous tissue like your ear. Now, male killer whales' dorsal fins can get up to 6 feet tall. So I'm 5'5", I stuck my hand up, that's about 6 feet tall, just cartilaginous tissue like your ear. So imagine a 6 foot tall ear. It's very wobbly. Over time, gravity can start to pull it down since there's nothing holding it up. So you'll often see our male killer whales start to bend over. So this happens both here at SeaWorld and in the wild as well. Now, but I really want to talk about the largest muscle on the whales. That is the peduncle, and it is connected to the tail flukes. So the peduncle is that really long back part of the whale connected to those tail flukes. They can pump those so hard to propel themselves to about 30 miles per hour. So Kalia's going to show off right in the center how high they can get. Now, what makes all these cool behaviors you see possible is through positive reinforcement training. So if you go to any accredited zoo or aquarium, especially here at SeaWorld, we're using positive reinforcement training, and we use that for different types of sessions like husbandry. So husbandry, also called healthcare, is how we train the killer whales to participate in their own healthcare. So how do we train? People often ask, I can barely train my dog at home. How do you train a 10,000-pound killer whale? Well, the answer is you have to be very patient, and it's always asking them a question. So it's entirely voluntary, and it's really building a relationship that's back and forth with them. So killer whales cannot hear our voices, so you can't train them like a dog or a cat where you say sit and stay. So that's why we're using those hand signals to communicate with them. So each hand signal correlates to one specific behavior. So right now we've asked Kalia and Makani to roll over and present us their tail flukes. Now this behavior we'll use very commonly in getting a blood sample. So Kalia and Makani about 5,000 pounds. If they didn't want us to draw blood, that's okay. They can just simply pull out of it and they wouldn't have to do that behavior. They're telling us, no, not today, and we're very respectful of that. So if they say no, we'll go ahead and move on. Now, they said yes, they'll roll over and present us their tail flukes. The vets are able to come down and obtain a voluntary blood sample from that really large vein that runs along the inside of their tail flukes. So kind of like when the doctors get blood from the inside of your arm, same thing with our killer whales. So you can see those white lines on the inside of those flukes sometimes, and those are our very large veins that the vets are able to feel. Now, a couple other things we use husbandry or healthcare behaviors for. We talked about weighing our whales, voluntary blood samples, x-rays, ultrasounds. They can even pee in a cup. These guys all love to learn. So each of those hand signals correlates to one specific behavior. We ask them, hey, do you want to go on this behavior? They can say yes or no. If they say yes, they go ahead and admit that behavior. When they're doing the correct behavior, you'll hear this really high-pitched whistle. Now this whistle means, great job, stop what you're doing, and go ahead, come on back, and we're gonna have a party. You get a large reinforcement. So they can get fish, ice cubes, snowballs, toys, a back rub. It's gonna be something different every single time. So when they hear that whistle, that means stop what you're doing, come on back, and they know there's going to be a big old party for them when they come back. Now, killer whales are animals. Nobody's perfect. I'm not perfect. They're going to make mistakes. What happens when the killer whales say no, or they're admitting the incorrect behavior? When they're done, they come on back, they look at me, I look at them. For about 3 seconds, I say, hey, that isn't quite right, and we go ahead and we move on. So they can still participate in the session. Just let them know, hey, thanks for trying, thanks for staying with me, and we're gonna go ahead and keep moving on. Sections is sufficiently wet, we have an extra special surprise for two very special people from the crowd. We're gonna bring down two very brave volunteers. Are you guys ready to get extra wet? All right, come on down. You guys are wearing ponchos. We're gonna take a seat right here on this blue box. So go ahead and sit side by side. Hold on tight to that white handle so you guys don't get washed away. And the whales are going to give you a very large surprise. Now that surprise also might be 55 degrees. Are you guys ready? We got a small nod. Are you guys ready? Yes, it's already raining, but we're going to get them extra wet. Kalia and Makani are on their way. Looks like they've chosen the wrong section. So, you guys can look up. We're going to try that one more time to see if they can choose our right volunteers. All right, now they're on their way. We'll count it down in 3, 2, and 1 for our entire section of volunteers. Very nice, guys. You guys can get up. Let's give a big round of applause for our volunteers. You guys are going to need an extra change of clothes. Luckily, there's a gift store located right outside. All right, very nice, guys. So we've talked about how to train killer whales, why we train killer whales. Now, last but not least, we're going to talk about exercise. So, killer whales need stimulation both mentally and physically. So you take your dogs on walks, we take our whales on walks. Basically it's the same thing, but we're asking them to do multiple high energy behaviors to really get that heart rate up. So we're going to go ahead and do a quick exercise session to finish out our presentation. Now our exercise might include lots of waves of water coming your direction.